begin with the prayers. Ajnanatimirandhanaanjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Pasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we'll be reading from the book Beyond Birth and Death by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we are beginning today with this book. Yes. The contents of these books, the chapters in this book are We Are Not These Bodies, the first chapter. Second chapter, Elevation at Death. Third chapter, Liberation from Material Planets. Fourth chapter, The Sky Beyond the Universe. And the fifth and the concluding chapter, Associating with Krishna. So all these books of Srila Prabhupada are based on the transcendental teachings of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada has written, composed 70 plus volumes of books based on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Srila Prabhupada refers different Puranas, Vedas, Upanishads in his books. And this is our attempt to understand this knowledge shared with us by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the most merciful Acharya of the current age. So we'll be trying to read and understand the teachings, the transcendental teachings of Srila Prabhupada with whatever capacity Krishna has given to us and whatever mercy Srila Prabhupada bestows upon us. So the first chapter. Okay, before this, a small note about Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada left India and came to America in 1965 to spread the Hare Krishna movement to the Western world. He is the first successful propagator of the science of Bhakti Yoga in the West and the founder and the spiritual master of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, which has over 70 centers around the world. It was during Prabhupada's time when this book was being published, ISKCON had around 70 centers, and today it is 10 times of the present number. ISKCON has around 700 plus centers across the world. He has translated and commented upon many great Vedic literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam, and others. This present booklet introduces the reader to the basic message of Bhagavad Gita, that through Krishna consciousness, one can transcend the relative material world of time and space and attain the perfectional platform of existence beyond birth and death. So the first chapter is here. We are not these bodies. Srila Prabhupada opens the book, opens the chapter with a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 30th shloka. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitumarhasi. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam. There are two in our existence. There are two. One is deha and another is dehi. Deha is the material body, what is perceivable to our senses, and dehi is the one who resides inside this body, who is the owner of this body. He is dehi, and that dehi is nityam. He is nitya, he is ever existing. He is avadhyo. He cannot be slain. He cannot be killed. He cannot be destroyed. Dehe sarvasya bharata. And the consciousness is spread throughout the body. Because of the presence of the Dehi, the, the consciousness is present throughout the body. Dehe sarvasya bharata is referring to Arjuna, who is the descendant of Bharata Vamshaja. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. That is why, because the soul present inside this body and showing its presence by the consciousness which is spread throughout the body, because we understand this truth, natvam shochitum arhasi, we should not lament for anything, lament for any living entity. O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body, Dehi, is eternal, Nityam, and can never be slain, Avadhyoyam. Therefore, you need not grieve for any creature. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. The very first step in self-realization is realizing one's identity as separate from the body. The very first realization in the process of self-realization is to understand that I am not this body. We are not these bodies. So, to understand one's identity as separate, different from this body is the first step in self-realization. I am not this body, but I am spirit soul. So naturally the question comes, if I am not this body, who am I? The answer is, I am spirit soul. I am not this body, but I am spirit soul is an essential realization for anyone who wants to transcend death and enter into the spiritual world beyond. It is not simply a matter of saying I am not this body, but of actually realizing it. It is not only, it should not remain only in the books. It should not remain only in the speeches, in the classes, in the sessions. No, it should come to reality. There should be realization of this statement that I am not this body, but I am spirit soul. And one should act on this knowledge. This is not as simple as it may seem at first, right? It is very easy. Once you come to temple, you come to temple regularly, you hear about this knowledge regularly, you read in Prabhupada books every day that we are not these bodies. So it becomes very easy for us to tell to others that we are not these bodies. But the realization and living on that knowledge is not easy. It may seem to be very simple at first, but when the testing time comes, we fail. Right? Although we are not these bodies, but our pure consciousness, somehow or other, we have become encased with the bodily dress. If we actually want the happiness and independence that transcend death, we have to establish ourselves and remain in our constitutional position as pure consciousness. If we want to enjoy that happiness which is beyond birth and death, which comes after transcending this repetition of cycle of birth and death, then we have to establish ourselves and remain in the constitutional position of pure consciousness. What is pure consciousness? Pure consciousness is I am spirit soul, eternal servant of Lord Krishna. I have a Satchidananda body which is eternally used in the service of Lord Krishna. Living in the bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Living in bodily conception, our idea of happiness is like that of a man in delirium. Some philosophers claim that this delirious condition of bodily identification should be cured by abstaining from all action. Right? Some philosophies say that. If you want to establish yourself as Atma, then you have to stop all the bodily activities. If you stop all bodily activities, you can easily establish yourself in the platform of spirit. This is what some philosophers say. Because these material activities have been a source of distress for us, they claim that we should actually stop these activities. Because we are performing activities with the senses, with the body, and that is the cause of distress, stop the activities. Their culmination of perfection is in a kind of Buddhistic nirvana. Buddhistic nirvana means once the body is finished, finish all the activities, stop all the activities of the body, and once the activities of the body stop, the body is on transcendental platform, and at that platform everything is zero. Nirvana, in which no activities are performed. Buddha maintained that due to a combination of material elements, this body has come into existence, and that somehow or other, if these material elements are separated or dismantled, the cause of suffering is removed. If the tax collectors give us too much difficulty because we happen to possess a large house, one simple solution is to destroy the house. Right? It is as good as saying this. However, Bhagavad Gita indicates that material body is not all in all. Beyond this combination of material elements, there is spirit. And the symptom of spirit is consciousness. How do we understand that we are spirit soul? How do we understand that soul exists in the body? So the symptom of the existence of the soul in the body is consciousness. When the body is conscious, that means soul is present. When the soul leaves the body, body is unconscious and dead. Consciousness cannot be denied. A body without consciousness is a dead body. As soon as consciousness is removed from the body, the mouth will not speak, the eye will not see, nor the ears hear. A child can understand that, right? Even a child can understand that. It is a fact that consciousness is absolutely necessary for the animation of the body. What is this consciousness? Just as heat or smoke are symptoms of fire, so consciousness is the symptom of soul, right? The wonderful Acharya Srila Prabhupada used wonderful examples. Just like if you want to understand the presence of fire, We understand the presence of fire by two symptoms, heat and light. If there is heat and light, that means there is fire. Similarly, if there is consciousness, that means there is soul. Consciousness is the symptom of soul. The energy of the soul or self is produced in the shape of consciousness. Indeed, consciousness proves that the soul is present. This is not only the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, but the conclusion of all Vedic literature. Right? It's not that only Krishna speaks about this philosophy of soul being different from the body or self-realization. No, all Vedic literature speaks about this aspect. The impersonalist school of Shankaracharya as well as the Vaishnavas following in the disciplic succession from Lord Sri Krishna acknowledge the factual existence of the soul. But Buddhist philosophers do not. The Buddhists contend that at a certain stage the combination of matter produces consciousness. But this argument is refuted by the fact that although we may have all constituents of matter at our disposal, we cannot produce consciousness from them. All the material elements may be present in a dead man, but we cannot revive that man to consciousness. This body is not like a machine. When a part of a machine breaks down, it can be replaced and the machine will work again. But when the body breaks down and consciousness leaves the body, there is no possibility of our replacing the broken part and rejuvenating the consciousness. The soul is different from the body. And as long as the soul is there, the body is animate. But there is no possibility of making the body animate in the absence of the soul, right? If you ask anyone, what is the difference between a dead body and a living body? What is the difference? What is the difference? Very easy to understand, right? When the difference between dead body and the living body is the presence of the soul. In the living body, soul is present, and in the dead body, soul is not present and has left the body and gone away. Because we cannot perceive the soul by our gross senses, we deny it. Right? The only reason most of the people who deny the existence of soul, the reason, the only reason is that soul is not perceivable by our senses. Just like when it comes to God, they say, if God exists, show me why I'm not able to see him, why I'm not able to perceive him. Similarly, when the Shastras say that Atma exists and all of us are Atmas, all of us are spirit souls, then some foolish people ask, if Atma is there, then show me why I am not able to see the Atma. This is their argument. Because we cannot perceive the soul by our gross senses, we deny it. Actually, there are so many things that are there which we cannot see. Right? There are many things like this. If you consider Atma is not present just because I am not able to see, then there are many things around us which I am not able to see. I cannot see the air. I cannot see the rays, the X-rays, the gamma rays. I cannot see. I cannot see the radiation. Right? If somebody calls me, my mobile rings. The radiation is coming, but where am I able to see? But still I believe, right? So we cannot see air, radio waves, or sound, nor can we perceive minute bacteria with our blood senses, right? But this does not mean they are not present, they are not there. By the aid of the microscope and other instruments, many things can be perceived which had previously been denied by the imperfect senses. Just because the soul, which is atomic in size, has not been perceived yet by senses or instrument, we should not conclude that it is not there. It can, however, be perceived by its symptoms and effects. In Bhagavad Gita, Shri Krishna points out that all of our miseries are due to false identification with the body. Krishna says in the Gita that all our miseries, all the pain we suffer, all the pleasure we enjoy is all because of identification with the body. Because the person thinks that I am this body and the enjoyment of the body is my enjoyment. Because the person thinks in this way, he undergoes pain and fear. Atra sparshaastu kaunteya शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः आगमा अपायिनो अनित्यास ताम स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of heat and cold, happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. Just because of sparsha, sense perception, just because of the sense perception, we see the non-permanent appearance, the temporary appearance of Shita, Ushna, heat and cold, Sukha, Dukkha, happiness and distress. And they appear and we see their disappearance also. Right? Happiness comes, appears, and after some time disappears. Unhappiness comes, misery comes, and then again goes back. Right? Agama apayino, coming and going. It is like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer season. Just like the seasons change, they come in rotation. There is summer, and there is rain, and there is winter, again summer, again rain, again winter. It repeats. So just like seasons change, okay, happiness, distress, heat, cold comes and goes. And all this we experience because of sense perception. That is why we must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. In the summertime, we may feel pleasure from contact with water, but in the winter, we may shun that very water because it is too cold, right? Very common experience for all of us. In either case, the water is the same, but we perceive it as pleasant or painful due to its contact with the body, right? Water is same in the summer and the winter, but the summer season, we feel very good to shower with that water or to wash our face or legs or to put it on our body. We feel very good. But the same water during the winter is painful. Why? It's because of the sense perception. Matra sparshastu. All feelings of distress and happiness are due to the body. Under certain conditions, the body and mind feel happiness and distress. Factually, we are hankering after happiness, for the soul's constitutional position is that of happiness. In fact, in reality, we always look for happiness, right? We do two things in our entire life. We always try hard to reduce the pain and always struggle to increase the happiness. Decrease miseries and increase happiness. these two things constantly we keep on doing throughout our life. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Being, who is Satchidananda Vigraha, the embodiment of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. Indeed, the very name Krishna, which is non sectarian, means the greatest pleasure. The name Krishna is not sectarian name. It does not belong to a particular sect. No. The meaning of Krishna is the greatest pleasure. There are different meanings of Krishna. The one beautiful meaning of Krishna is Krishna means the greatest pleasure. Krish means greatest and Na means pleasure. Krishna is the epitome of pleasure, and being part and parcel of him, we hanker for pleasure. A drop of ocean water has all the properties of the ocean itself. Krish means greatest and Na means pleasure. Krishna is the epitome of pleasure, and being part and parcel of him, we hanker for pleasure. A drop of ocean always has all the properties of the ocean itself, and we, although minute particles of the supreme whole, have same energetic properties of the supreme, right? Just like the, if you see the difference between the entire ocean and a drop of water from that ocean, the difference is that of quantity, right? But by quality, both are same. By quality, water, the drop of ocean is also liquid. The ocean, entire ocean, body of the ocean is also liquid. The chemical content of the drop of the ocean is also same as the chemical content of the ocean itself. This is also salty, that is also salty. Similarly, all the spirit soul being part and parcel, just like the drop of the ocean is taken from the ocean, right? It is part and parcel of the ocean. Similarly, all of us spirit souls, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. He is eternally full of knowledge and happiness. And because Krishna is eternally full of happiness and knowledge, we, Atma, being part and parcel of Krishna, we are also minutely, eternally full of knowledge and happiness. We also have these qualities of Krishna, of being full of knowledge and full of happiness. But because we are minute parts and parcel of Krishna, we are prone to the effect of the external energy of Krishna. We are prone to fall down from our position. But Krishna being completely, perfectly Sampurna, he will not fall down. Krishna also speaks about this in the Bhagavad Gita, that there are two categories of beings. One are Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated, and another category are those who are prone to fall down. Those who never fall down, Achyuta, and other category who are Chuta. So a drop of ocean has all the properties of the ocean itself, and we, although minute particles of the supreme whole, we have the same energetic properties of the supreme. The atomic soul although so small, is moving the entire body to act in so many wonderful ways. Right? In the world, we see so many cities, highways, bridges, great buildings, monuments, and great civilizations. But who has done all this? It is all done by the minute spirit spark within the body. If such wonderful things can be performed by the minute spirit spark, we cannot begin to imagine what can be accomplished by the Supreme Spirit whole. The natural hankering of the minute spirit spark is for the qualities of the whole: knowledge, bliss, and eternity. The natural hankering of the minute spirit spark is for the qualities of the whole. And what are the qualities of the whole? Knowledge, eternity, and bliss. But these hankerings are being frustrated due to the material body, because we identify being in this material world under the three modes of material nature, under Maya, under the influence of Kali Yuga. Because we identify with the body, we are not able to understand that we are eternal, we are full of bliss, we are full of knowledge. The information on how to attain the soul's desire is given in Bhagavad Gita. At present, we are trying to attain eternity, bliss, and knowledge by means of an imperfect instrument. Actually, our progress toward these goals is being blocked by the material body. Therefore, we have to come to the realization of our existence beyond the body. Theoretical knowledge that we are not these bodies will not do. We have to keep ourselves always separate as masters of the body, not as servants. If we know how to drive a car well, it will give us good service. But if we do not know how, we will be in danger. The body is composed of senses, and the senses are always hungry after their objects. The eyes see a beautiful person and tell us, oh, there is a beautiful girl, a beautiful boy, let's go see. The ears are telling us, oh, there is very nice music, let us go hear it. The tongue is saying, oh, there is very nice restaurant with palatable dishes, let us go. In this way, the senses are dragging us from one place to another, and because of this, we are perplexed. Indriyani Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano vidhiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavamivam bhasa. As a boat on the water is swept away by a strong wind, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Tadasya harati prajnam. Even one sense on which the mind focuses can take away a person's intelligence. Just like Vayur Navamivambasa, just like a boat floating on the water is taken away by the strong wind. It is imperative that we learn how to control the senses. The name Goswami is given to someone who has learned how to master the senses. Go means senses, and the Swami means controller. So, one who can control the senses is to be considered a Goswami. Krishna indicates that one who identifies with the illusory material body cannot establish himself in his proper identity as spirit soul. Bodily pleasure is flickering and intoxicating, and we cannot actually enjoy it because of its momentary nature. Actually, pleasure is of the soul, not the body. We have to mold our lives in such a way that we will not be diverted by bodily pleasure. If somehow we are diverted, it is not possible for us to establish our consciousness in its true identity beyond the body. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate traigunya vishaya veda nistraigunyo bhavarjuna nirdvandvo nitya sattvasto niryoga kshema atmavan. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, bhoga, aishwarya, prasaktanam, asakta is interested, prasakta is blindly interested or has become obsessive with it. That is called as prasaktanam, asaktanam, prasaktanam. Bhoga, aishwarya, prasaktanam, one who is too attached, too much interested in bhoga and aishwarya, sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things. Taya apahita chetasam, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means the resolute determination. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate, it does not take place. If one is too much attached to sense gratification and the material opulence, his intelligence is bewildered and he cannot worship the Supreme Lord with resolute determination. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. The Vedas deal with the three modes of material nature. That is why, O Arjuna, you have to come above the three modes of material nature. Nistraigunyo Bhava Arjuna. You become guna, free from three gunas. Nistraigunyo Bhava. Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto. Become free from the dualities of this material nature. Mana, apamana, heat, cold, pleasure, pain, small, big. Right? All these are dvandvas. Nirdvandvo, become free from the dvandva. Nitya sattvasto, establish yourself in the pure Shuddha Sattva Guna. Niryoga Kshema Atmavan, and become situated in Atmavan, spiritual platform. The Vedas deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety. And be established in the self. So here we end today's discussion. If you have any questions, we have 2 minutes, or else we will conclude. No questions?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, even though we are in Krishna consciousness and chanting, following all regulative principles and offering all those things, still it is difficult to get, detached from the family and such things, no?
Yes. How long you have been chanting, or how long you have been doing Krishna conscious activities, Mataji?
5.5 years.
Okay. So now we should understand, when it is said about when we are too much attached to the sense gratification, too much attached to the material wealth, it does not speak about one lifetime. We are attached to these material sense gratification, to this material world itself, from time immemorial, from so many janmas, from so many lives, from millions of lives. We are in this material world trying to find the eternal happiness, but bewildered by three modes of material: Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna. We are like dancing dolls in the hands of the three modes of material nature. And three modes of material nature are controlled by the external energy of Krishna. They three together called as Maya. Right? So the Maya Shakti is controlling us from so many millions of lifetimes, right? Now you can only answer by 5 years of course, one name of Krishna can destroy all the effect of sinful reaction. Right? But we should be first of all qualified to chant that one Shuddha Nama of Krishna. Right? Recently, Madhu Pandit Prabhu was speaking in the Sunday class that because of all these the spiritual activities of chanting, participating in Sankirtan, reading Bhagavad Gita, by doing all this, what we are doing is we are actually preparing ourselves to receive the mercy of the Lord. We are actually preparing or making a container, a container, but to fill that container is only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. We are not preparing a dish, we are preparing a container by all these activities of spiritual life. Right? By following Srila Prabhupada's guidance, his instructions, by all this, actually, we are preparing our consciousness, we are preparing ourselves to receive the blessings of Krishna, to receive the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. Right? So now, come to your question. You say from so many years you have been practicing, but it's very difficult to get detached from the material affairs, the material activities, the material attachments. Very difficult. So this will happen when we are fully ready to receive the kripa, the causeless mercy of Guru and Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada sees, when Krishna sees that we are fully ready, Krishna will say Tathastu, and you will become in 1 second fully detached from this material. So for that to happen, we have to patiently wait. Right? Of course, you can, to one extent, I can say that by 5 years of chanting, or some of you may be chanting more than that, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you can actually easily see, you go back and see 5 years back, what were you, what was your position, what was your mentality, what was your consciousness, and compare that with today's consciousness, today's mentality, today's behavior of yours. Definitely, if you have really chanted sincerely, if you have really served Krishna with the heart, then definitely there must be a different person today, right? Everyone experiences this. Anybody who chants sincerely, tries to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada sincerely, definitely gets at least this realization, this experience, the change of the heart, the change of the consciousness. Yes. So to further to get more detached, to further becomes more purified, yes, we have to put our efforts, but also we have to wait patiently for the rain to flow. Right? There is a beautiful bird. The name of the bird is Chataka. Right? The bird Chataka, it is said, it does not drink water from any water body. It never drinks water from any water bodies, nor from river, nor from ocean, or from well, or nowhere. It drinks water only when the clouds pour the water. It raises its beak, open mouth, waits for the rain to come. Patiently it waits. Though the water is there, enough water is there on the land, it does not rain. It waits for the clouds to pour the rain. So it's a very beautiful example We have to wait for Krishna's mercy like the Chataka bird. Should not settle down for any kind of pleasure of this material world. I want the pleasure of being in association of Krishna alone. This should be our determination. Just like the Chataka bird, I want the water from the clouds alone and from no other sources. So, devotee, his consciousness is I want the pleasure from Krishna and Krishna's service alone and from nowhere else. Then detachment is just a byproduct if we come to this consciousness, right? So our time is up. We'll wind up and we'll meet next time to continue the reading from the first chapter of the book Beyond Birth and Death by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all for joining this session. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada